Namaste. I am starting a new series to create awareness about the various types of spiritual awakening people undergo. The difference between these types of spiritual awakenings and a Kundalini awakening is what I'm going to talk about in this series. This series will make you understand how Kundalini works in your body, and it will shatter many myths that are associated with the Kundalini awakening process. Generally, people practicing yoga or other spiritual practices, they experience a change in themselves. They experience higher vibration. They experience the pranic movements in the body. They actually experience the pranic sheath that is there in their body. This pranic sheath is present throughout the body, and this is experienced in the form of pranic movements. You can feel sensation at chakra points, and then many other symptoms associated with these types of pranic movements in our body. These pranic movements, they happen before any kind of spiritual awakening in our body. There are different types of awakenings that we can experience. One of those is a Kundalini awakening. Apart from Kundalini awakening, there are two other spiritual awakenings which I understand, which I'll talk about in this series. But particularly today, I will talk about what comprises of a Kundalini awakening, or what type of an awakening can be called as a Kundalini awakening. The other types of awakening which I've come across are the vagus nerve awakening. Few call the vagus nerve as the path through which Kundalini moves from the lower chakras to the higher chakras, and few experience a top down awakening. That is, they experience the flow of energy from head down. These are two types of awakenings which I'll discuss later in my next videos. Many experiences precede the spiritual awakening process or the Kundalini awakening process. Most importantly, dreams on snakes. Some encounter scary situations. They can be seeing other dimensions, certain kinds of beings. Some see them in dream time and some see them in the real time. Seeing deities, certain deities, then getting premonitions on what is going to happen in the future. Some develop clairaudience, clairsentience. They can hear others' thoughts. They have a intuitive feeling about what is going to happen next. There are many other things that are associated with these experiences that precede a spiritual awakening in a person. A lot of things are getting processed in the body and in the mind too. So a lot of emotion cleansing is happening. Many things that were shut off, which were kept deep in the memory, come out. They surface to be cleared out. So a whole lot of activities happening at the physical level, the mental level, and the emotional level. It's more or less like a roller coaster ride. This types of experiences can happen before a spiritual awakening and not necessarily a Kundalini awakening. As I said, you have other types of spiritual awakening also. Here we are experiencing our subconscious mind, the unconscious mind, the pranic sheath is being experienced, the various chakras, the pranic flow, all that is associated with the pranic sheath is coming into your experience here. And now you know that there is a pranic sheath that is there in your body. When we are spiritually awakening, a lot of the systems that are there in our body, they are also undergoing a change. For example, the glandular system, which secretes hormones, and they are uh, what makes us as a person, the hormones that we produce. These hormones, the quality of hormones, the type of hormones, they undergo a change when we are spiritually evolving to support us at the next level. The nervous connections also change as we are spiritually evolving. The various organs that are there in our body, they too undergo a change so that they can support you as you are evolving in your spiritual journey. Your spinal cord, your brain, these also see a lot of activity happening because a lot of prana is flowing through them and it is changing them inside. So we are changing internally. The kind of change is very alchemical in nature and it transforms a person either temporarily or permanently. If it transforms a person temporarily, then the knowledge of the higher state of consciousness remains with the person. Though it falls away from their experience, that memory is there. So the person again wants or craves for that state where he lived at a higher state of consciousness. And if this change is permanent, then the consciousness is rooted at that level of soul evolution. Whatever state you have achieved in this lifetime, in case a person has not completed his spiritual journey in one lifetime and he passes away, that spiritual evolution is taken to the next lifetime. For example, say few chakras got activated in this lifetime and the person could not complete his process or her process. In the next lifetime, he will be born in the body where these chakras will be active. He does not have to open up them again in the next lifetime. So, whatever spiritual evolution you are doing, that will stay with you. In case you have started a sadhana or you have started the prayer to a deity, you have formed a close bond with the deity. That bond will go over many lifetimes. The deity will be present with you in your next lifetime also. Because when we are born again, we forget that we have done something in our last lifetime. We forget all those practices we have adopted in our last lifetime. But we are intuitively guided by the inner processes to again go on to the path. And the deity will play a major role in keeping you on the path and guiding you on to the completion of this soul evolution process. So the chakras, they start vibrating, or you will feel certain points at the chakra rotating. The moments of pranic flow, they can lead to the activation of chakra. Now chakra can be activated in many ways. One way of activating a chakra is increasing a certain satwik quality within you. In case you have the habit of speaking the truth only and you do not like lies or falsity and you prefer to live from your inner truth, then your Vishuddha chakra will activate because there's a close connection between the sattvic quality, truth, honesty, and the Vishuddha chakra. So every chakra has certain types of sattvic qualities attached to it. I spoke about this in my earlier videos. I'll post a link to those videos. Please go through these videos, then you will understand what I'm talking even better. Or there are certain yogic practices that will help you to activate chakras. I have found a book online which is free. It is available. I'll post a link to that book. In that book, there are certain yogic practices to activate every chakra in your body. Please learn those yogic practices from a guru. They will help you a lot in activating the chakras. All the chakras should be active before Kundalini awakening happens because there is a connection between the various chakras in our spine with the brain centers. Here you can see the brain centers, how they are connected with the chakras. The top image, you will see the frontal view of a person. The second image is the lateral view, the side view of the person. And then the third picture is the back view of the person. Muladhara is connected to this back area here. When my Muladhara chakra was activating, I would feel sudden pain in this area, back area. It felt like somebody had this pepper spray. They sprayed that spray onto my head and into my brain. It would burn very badly. It would take me few minutes to recover from that pain. So this pain is linked to the activation of your Muladhara chakra. The petals in your Muladhara chakra, they're connected with the brain centers in this part of the brain. Here I have mentioned Muladhara as MU. Okay. Either sides of MU, you can see S, which is the Swadhisthana chakra. So when your Swadhisthana chakra is activating, you will find energetic movements here or certain pain here in that area. And when you touch this area, you will feel sensation in Swadhisthana chakra. For example, this is Anahata. You touch here, and in case your Anahata chakra is active, you will feel that sensation in your Anahata chakra. Right? Manipura chakra. I have written as M here. So it is two spots here and here. That is the brain center that is associated with Manipura chakra. And I said Anahata chakra is here. Vishuddhi is here and Agya chakra is here. So when you have sensations in those areas on top of your head, it simply means that chakra points in the spine are spinning, and that is what is causing the sensation in various parts of your brain. And for your Kundalini awakening to happen, all the brain centers should get activated, and they get activated when your chakras get activated. And when your crown gets activated, it is here, the sensation that is felt. All these chakras, when they work together, that is when you will feel the crown chakra. Without these chakras all getting activated, you cannot feel the crown chakra. In a Kundalini activation, first thing that happens is called Pranatana, the event. Here, a lot of energy is released from the Pingala Nadi, that is on the right side of your Muladhara chakra. You can see it in the diagram here, crisscrossing over the central spine. It is darker in shade. It ends here on the right side. First, the energy gets released to that. That energy which gets released through that flows through the channel and it disperses in the brain. Then the energy moves into the Ida channel, the left side, and it again crisscrosses, and that energy too meets the Pingala Nadi here. So the Ida and Pingala Nadi have to flow well and simultaneously. When they do that and they meet here, then the third eye opens and you can start seeing inner images of the process that is happening in your body. Now, Kundalini process is, I can call it tricky because it can come in spurts or it can be a continuous process. Kundalini might activate some part or some channel and it may go dormant again suddenly. So once somebody has pranatana through the Pingala Nadi, it may go dormant after that. Or it may activate both the Pingala and Ida Nadi and go dormant after that. So once Ida and Pingala Nadi balance out, that is when the prana now needs to rise to the central Sushumna. But before that, another event happens. That is Kundalini, it moves up from the Muladhara. This is outside the spine, not inside the spine. It moves from Muladhara. It takes a quick tour around the spine, and while taking this tour around the spine, it pierces through the Agya chakra. That is, from the Muladhara chakra, it makes a circuit to the Agya chakra, going over the spine. It pierces through the Agya chakra at the back. It comes out through the front, and it again goes down. The reason for that is Mooladhara Chakra, the Kundalini Shakti is sleeping. It is starting the process there. So the activation of Kundalini in the Mooladhara is similar to pressing the button on a scooter to start it. Say for example, you have a scooter. You want to start it. You press the start button. That is the activation of Kundalini in the Mooladhara. But now the scooter needs fuel. It will not run just because you press the start button. For that fuel, what Kundalini does is the moment it activates, it starts, it goes up to the Agya Chakra, it pierces through the Agya Chakra and comes down to the front side. When it does that, the prana which is there in the Agya Chakra starts trickling down through the front of the body. It goes into the Mooladhara Chakra. When the prana moves down from the top, now Kundalini has the fuel to ascend from inside the spine. So this prana is its fuel. To get its fuel, it goes up, it takes a round around the spinal cord and it comes down. That prana now starts flowing. Now this prana will help Kundalini to move from inside the spine. As I said earlier, the spiritual evolution which we have reached to some point in a past lifetime, it is not lost. In our next lifetime, we start from where we have stopped. Say, for example, somebody's Kundalini Shakti has risen through the lower three chakras. It has cleared out the debris in the lower three chakras. It has activated and strengthened the lower three chakras. And then it has reached somewhere to the heart level. And this person's lifetime is over. In the next lifetime, the person will be born with the same activated chakras. And for this person, Kundalini may not activate at the base. It could activate at the Manipura chakra or could activate at the Anahata chakra. Activation is, in a sense, is something like pressing the start button. Or it may activate in the Anahata chakra, but the Kundalini Shakti may start from the Mooladhara chakra. Once prana, the fuel, is trickling down, Kundalini now has the fuel to move up from inside the spine. Between Mooladhara chakra and the Vishuddhi chakra, that is here, Kundalini has no stations to stop and take rest. So when it is moving through these lower chakras, if it needs to rest, it has to again come down to the Mooladhara chakra. Kundalini place in the body decides the level of consciousness we are experiencing. When our Kundalini is in the Mooladhara chakra, we are asleep. We are not in a spiritually awakened state. We live from the lower three chakras, live our life in fear, reacting to the external world. We do not have the intelligence or the wisdom to understand the world or the people at large, the workings of the universe. We do not know this. But once Kundalini Shakti is moving up your spine, your consciousness is also evolving along with it. A lot of changes are happening in your body. So when Kundalini is moving up your spine, cleansing away the lower three chakras and moving to the higher chakra, at that stage, you might feel very liberated, very joyous, at peace. You feel you have changed a lot, transformed a lot. But because Kundalini Shakti has no resting space there, it has to again come down to the Mooladhara chakra. When that happens, you again feel like you've lost something. This phase, when Kundalini is moving through the lower chakras and it has not yet moved to the Vishuddhi chakra where it can use it as a resting spot, it is moving up and down the spinal cord. So accordingly, your thinking or your behavior will change as per the level of the Kundalini Shakti in your spine region. So there'll be a lot of fluctuations here. You might feel very happy at one instance, you might feel very sad in the next instance. So this fluctuation in behavior and emotions are very common when somebody is undergoing the Kundalini awakening process. In today's video, I'm talking about down-up awakenings. Down-up awakenings is when your Kundalini is moving from the bottom of your spine up through the spine into your head. So the down-up awakenings are typically Kundalini awakenings. This major symptom happens in a down-up awakening. That is the tingling in your left foot, where you can feel electrical impulses very strongly in the big toe of your left foot, and these impulses are so strong that the toe nail can turn black and fall away. In that place, new toenail is generated by the body, and this electrical impulse moves through your leg from the side of the heart, and you might even feel some sensations in the heart. It moves up and into your throat, comes to your thyroid gland here. You can feel that buzzing noise in your thyroid region also. So the thyroid region is connected with the left foot, that toe. So this is one distinctive feature that happens when somebody is going to have a Kundalini awakening, that is a down-up awakening. So the down-up awakenings, the energy flows up from the central channel, up into the brain. In a normal person, what happens is the energy flow is downwards. It is moving from top down and it is moving into the outside world. So that person thinks that the external world, what he is seeing is real, it is solid, and he sees himself as this physical body. It is only when this prana is reversed and it is made to flow down up that consciousness starts evolving. Now, where does Kundalini actually move? It moves from the center of the spine. Center of the spine is the hollow spinal column that is there. In the hollow of the spinal column, you have the nadis, the Sushumna nadi, that will take the Kundalini Shakti from the Muladhara chakra into the brain area. The chakra points are also placed inside the spinal column. As I said earlier, a person's level of consciousness is dependent on where Kundalini Shakti is residing in the body. When the Kundalini Shakti is present at the Muladhara chakra, the person has a lot of emotions which are similar to what animals also experience. That is, he is mostly in his animalistic nature, animalistic tendencies. We are evolving in our previous lifetimes before being born as a human. We were in the form of an animal. From the animal state, we have evolved to the human state. For animals, Muladhara chakra is the highest chakra. It is like the crown chakra that we have, the Sahasrara chakra. That is the highest chakra for a human being. But for animals, Muladhara chakra is the highest chakra. When the Muladhara chakra opens in an animal, the next lifetime is a human lifetime. But this person, though he has a human form, he still is caught up in the animalistic nature, animalistic tendencies. This person will typically operate from a lot of fear mode. Survival instincts will be high. At this level, the person, though he is human in form, a lot of animalistic tendencies or traits will be visible in that person, and he'll live life from the lowest chakra, the Muladhara chakra. So over many lifetimes, he evolves and then he starts learning, growing over many lifetimes. But the Kundalini Shakti is still sleeping at the Muladhara chakra. But as a person is spiritually evolving, the Kundalini Shakti starts moving upward. It starts cleansing the nadis, the chakras start functioning. They are strengthened by Kundalini. And there is a stage that comes when Kundalini, after cleansing away the lower chakras, it gains entry to Vishuddha chakra, and then it changes its station or resting point from the Muladhara to the Vishuddha chakra. Now, Kundalini Shakti is not there at the Muladhara chakra. Now she is residing in the Vishuddha chakra. If someone passes away at this stage, next lifetime they will be born with Kundalini sitting in the Vishuddha chakra. There's one more thing I want you all to know is, before Kundalini Shakti starts rising and going up, even when it clears certain centers, it can again come down, it can go dormant. So these awakenings are not stable awakenings. Right from Pranottana stage till the stage where Kundalini is trying to clear away the lower chakras, these awakenings are not stable awakenings. So they can stop at any point in time, and maybe there's a time gap. Maybe the process will start after few years or few months. You might experience that, those types of phases, but please understand that once the process starts in your body, it carries on. It can complete in this lifetime, or it may take 1 or 2 more lifetimes, but it will reach its culmination. And you have to keep your focus on your spiritual practices. The more you change, the more you evolve. Once Kundalini Shakti moves up the spine, it makes Vishuddha Chakra its new place of rest. This is called as partial awakening, and from here on, the person's consciousness also will operate from that level. He has overcome most of the animal tendencies that are there in him. Most importantly, hatred. Once Kundalini Shakti has strengthened the Vishuddha chakra, it is moving beyond the Vishuddha chakra, the person cannot feel hatred for anybody, or he has no animosity towards anybody in this world, because he has defeated hatred. Your level of hormonal production in your body, the type of emotions you experience, the type of behaviors you adopt will depend on where the consciousness or your Kundalini Shakti is residing in your body. If it is at the level of the Vishuddha chakra, then you will not want to get involved in unnecessary drama in life. You would like to speak your truth. Now you don't like falsities. You become a very sensitive person. There are a lot of changes that are happening inside you because the hormonal production is changing, and now your body is changing internally to support your consciousness at that level. This is a permanent change. It is not a temporary change. So this change, it will be there with you in this lifetime, and in case the process does not complete in this lifetime and another lifetime is required, this change will be taken by you to your next lifetime. There are many people who are born with Kundalini Shakti in the Vishuddha Chakra. They are great singers, they're great composers, they're great artists, and or they can be great scientists, because this is a center of knowledge and arts in our body. Next, the Kundalini tries to rise up to the Agya Chakra. There are certain hurdles there also. But once it reaches the Agya Chakra, the lower part of the Agya Chakra, the person has come out of lot of other negative emotions. He now understands the world better. Now his view of the world is a top view. Earlier, when Kundalini was in the Muladhara Chakra, he was thinking from that level. Now, the Kundalini is now stationed in the Agya Chakra. Because of that, he takes a wider, bigger view of the world. So whatever used to trigger him earlier, now that same thing will not trigger him much. And even if he gets a little triggered, maybe he might experience slight anger. That anger is immediately controlled, and that anger turns into acceptance. It turns into understanding. It turns into sympathy for the person who is not able to understand the consequences of his action. So this person is now operating from a higher state of consciousness. And any event that is happening externally, this person will not react to it. Rather, he will respond very wisely to the external situations. He is not reacting from the primal fears which a normal person has to or deals with on a daily basis. So there's a shift in the way he sees the world, the way he sees his past, the way he understands himself, and the way he sees life. Now, life has a totally different meaning for this person. He is not concerned with the daily mundane things that happen in life. His thinking, his behavior, his actions come from a very high state of consciousness. And these changes are permanent in this person because Kundalini Shakti is improving its status. It is moving from center to center and it is moving still to the higher centers. So when the person's Kundalini Shakti is in the Muladhara chakra, he is still animalistic in nature. But once it rises up, it moves to a certain level in the Vishuddhi. During this process, the person comes out of the animalistic nature and he becomes more human in nature. That animal aspect of him is falling away from his thoughts and from his behaviors. When it is Nagya Chakra, you can call him a total human being with the essence of his personality is there with him, which is very sattvic in nature. And he has become this perfect human at this level. Once Kundalini has pierced the last knot, that is the Rudra Grindhi that is present in the Agya Chakra, and it moves to the upper part of the Agya Chakra, which is called as Makara. This rising is called a full rising. From here, Kundalini will effortlessly on its own complete the process. Till here, there was always a chance that the Kundalini could have gone dormant, or even the state of higher consciousness could have been lost if the person caught up in unnecessary egoic dramas and he misuses his psychic powers. There was a chance that the Kundalini could go down to the lower chakras. But with this full rising, Kundalini now sits there, it works on the person, and from there it elevates its position to the higher level till it reaches the Sahasrara chakra. During this process, the person comes out of the animalistic nature and he becomes more human in nature. That animal aspect of him is falling away from his thoughts and from his behaviors. When it is Nagya chakra, you can call him a total human being with the essence of his personality is there with him, which is very sattvic in nature. And he has become this perfect human at this level. And from the journey upwards from here, the person becomes divine. Now he is capable of receiving the divinity, and this happens in the states of samadhi. Once Kundalini Shakti is seated in the Agya Chakra, the Kundalini journey happens uninterruptedly. From here on, it will not go dormant. It will start working continuously till it transforms you into a divine being. So our journey from the animalistic nature to the human nature, then to the divine nature. This is the quality of the down up awakening, and this awakening is supported by the body. Your nervous system changes, new wiring happens at the body level, at the brain level. The functioning of organs changes, the hormones secreted too, they support you to operate from a higher level of consciousness. So this type of Kundalini awakening brings out a total permanent transformation in the person. This process even liberates a person from the cycle of life and death, apart from giving him other psychic abilities or the universal knowledge. There are other types of spiritual awakenings which I'll talk about in my next videos. Thank you.